last 45 minutes running around the house.
You could have texted me 45 minutes ago. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our overly bright Twitch channel. Now you're here with your toes in our somewhat pierce-warm trench water. I guess we better introduce ourselves. We're the Bloodthirsty Puppets. Tonight we are playing The Star of the Dark Part 2. And it's using our spice system because it's Friday Night Spiced. Woohoo! I am your wonderful puppet mistress, Blood, and I am giving singular fucks today. And I'm going to pass it round to let you guys introduce who you are and who you're playing while I fiddle about with cameras.
I've got a blank screen.
You have a blank screen.
You are apparently Corone.
I am Corone, but I'm not Corone. I am Spanners. And I'll be moving that way in a minute. I'm playing Dr. Abigail. Last week spouted a fair amount of science that I definitely didn't have written down. And I believe I ended up not scared, not cold, but still none the wiser.
Cool.
Woohoo!
Let's go to the left one. No,
Hang on.
fix the camera.
Who's that?
It's you.
That's you.
It's me. I'm still not got the screen up. Hi, I'm Corone. I'll be playing Bernard Smith, Captain, don't you know? And yes, I'm trying not to say "rah" too much today.
Hoorah. Cool.
Oh, and a couple of rules for chat. Don't be at all about someone's gender. Don't be at all about someone's race. And generally, don't be at all.
Or a screwdriver.
you.
Oh, it's so good this side of the table. Next one round then.
That'll be me.
Correct.
And I am playing. So I have a slight technical malfunction. The fact that my character sheet got deleted from last week, so I kind of have to remember everything from scratch again.
We're doing so well.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy right now.
We're happy.
Joy,
Anyway,
joy.
I'm playing a colonel, and my name is classified, as are my stats, on a strictly need-to-know basis, and I don't need to know. So I'm going to pass that way.
Hello, I am Thirsty, and today I should be playing the wonderful Professor Ruben Matthias, the occult advisor to Colonel George Rogers. Getting
How
that down.
do you know his name? That's classified information.
Notes, motherfucker. Notes.
What was my name?
Got amnesia.
Oh.
Oh. Apologies
Oh
for
my
anyone
god,
with
after the
amnesia.
amazing start that we had before we even got onto this court. Oh wow. Okay, so all that's left to do is to decide if you guys want to continue playing the weaknesses of each other, or if you want to attempt to provoke them in everyone. This is your choice. As I said, singular fucks are given by me today, so I will let this be your choice.
I'd like to be able to play with more people. Playing with one person's fun, but playing with three people's emotions is way more fun.
Yeah. See,
Three times as fun.
I like singularly picking on people, which is why I wanted to do it the way I did.
The problem I've got is that my thing is to intimidate Jay, and I'm his boss. So it's kind of a case like every time I see him, I'm your boss, you should be terrified of me.
Okay.
Alright then, we shall open it up so everyone can muck about with everyone's weaknesses. This is a slight
Alright.
adaptation of our normal spice system, being that we have weaknesses, and it's the only way to gain legendary points. So everyone started off with however many you had at the end of last session is however many you have going on through this session. Unfortunately, and I'm sorry to say to anyone who is actually hanging out in the chat there, you could buy the legendary points, but those legendary points would just hang over to a game in which I will be allowing the purchasing of legendary points for the players. So I believe that Thirsty and I believe that Spanner have one each moving forward to any of their other games.
Yep.
But that's neither here nor there. So, does everyone want to go around and quickly shout out what your current weakness tags are? Because I believe some of you gained new ones last week. So we'll start with Corone.
My weaknesses, as well as being easily intimidated, I'm also distracted and slow. That doesn't sound right. That's what's written down here, but
Yeah, slow because you're wet.
Cold.
okay. I
Cold.
thought it meant
Yeah,
slow
it's
as
supposed to be
in
cold.
slow of study.
Mentally slow.
No, I think cold.
Okay.
I think cold is what we're going for.
Okay.
All right, cool. Next.
I will only believe something if I can see it. Which meant that I denied the existence of Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Thanks. And that was it.
Oh wow, you got through light last week, didn't you? Nice. Tech.
My ones. I have a compassion about my squad, and I was frightened by strange things occurring in the trenches.
Indeed. And Professor.
Yes. The professor, on the other hand, where all these people had, like, characterful, strong, like, this makes them who they are. I'm just a lazy wuss. Yes. Reuben Matthias is a lazy bookworm wuss who stays inside. He's nervous, he's jumpy, he's slow, he's cold, he's wet, he's unfit. He's slightly hurt.
I'm
He's a
running
bit
out of
scared of
tags, dude. You
water.
have to narrow this down a bit.
And he's a hypochondriac.
Yeah.
Which was
And everyone keeps ignoring his entirely reasonable suggestions. Like, let's not go in the water full of dead things.
actually he
And
didn't know
let's
there
stay
were dead
away from
things
the
in
water
it.
with the mustard gas dissolved in it.
Yeah, but he didn't
Let's
know
not go
that
in
there
the
was
shell
water.
hole.
He didn't know that there was dead in it. He didn't know that at the time. He does now.
It was a shell hole. You shell corpses. You shell people and make corpses. Horrible, diseased water.
Sure.
Love
So,
it.
does anybody remember where we were last week?
Crawling to the top of a shell crater, I believe, after being attacked by zombies, which my guy hasn't really rationalised yet. But I'm sure I'm going to ask the scientist how that works later.
Okay. So, last we had left it, you guys were standing at the top of this particularly large shell crater. It's heavy, thick fog mist around you. You can hear, some of you can hear the sounds of Silent Night being sung in English and in German. Some of you can sense something moving about in the mist. And if I remember rightly, none of you know exactly where you are anymore.
I think I was checking my compass.
Yes.
Yes, the compass was
I
spinning.
never actually. Oh yeah, that's it. The compass was spinning
Your
around.
compass was spinning. So, this is where we find you guys. What do you want to do now?
Can we see the other side of the crater?
Nope.
Okay.
Actually, that's not freaky enough. Hang on.
Can we see each other?
You can, but that's pretty much all you can really see.
So I'm going to suggest that we don't lose each other, that we form some kind of bond. So do we still have some rope?
Someone has a rope, I think.
I threw some rope in the crater, but it missed.
I would say you still have hold of it.
Okay. So if we all kind of hold on to the rope, then maybe as we move forward, we're not going to lose each other.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yay.
So, a sort of safety tether, if you will.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. I'm just going to hook it through my belt. Like, I don't see any point in wasting a perfectly good hand on holding this. And someone can yank me to safety.
That's an exceptionally good idea. So you all tether yourself onto this rope. You either hold onto it or literally run it through your belt loop or some such. You guys are now all tied together.
This can't
I'm
possibly
going to
go
hold
wrong.
onto it rather than tying it to myself because I may need to let go and move away from it at some point.
Yeah, you may need to fire your rifle or whatever such, so that's fair. Okay. Where do you guys head? What do you guys want to try doing? The compass doesn't seem to be working.
Well, I think we've come straight, from what I remember, we've come straight across the crater and we're heading in the right direction beforehand, so I think just keep pressing straight forward. And then once we've got through the worst of this fog, then hopefully the compass will kick back in again. But saying that, we have some scientists here, so perhaps you can fill us in and why our compass isn't working.
So if the compass is spinning, this means that there's like a magnetic field that is maybe interfering with your compass, or potentially there's something which is maybe dragging. We could be looking at maybe something chemical which is creating like a magnetic field. I mean, I don't know what those things were, but there's obviously some kind of animal down there. I don't know. We'd obviously need to investigate this a little bit further. Maybe your compass is just broken.
The compass is spinning round in circles and dead things grabbing us as we walked across the crater is just like chemicals.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Ruben, I suppose you've got some weird
Come on,
theories
someone
about
invoke
this.
skeptic on her.
That's what I was trying to do without you covering it. Okay, cucumber skeptic.
Yes, you have to actually do
Alright,
it, otherwise
roll
it's
two
just
D12s.
roleplay.
Okay. fine.
D12 each.
Shit.
9.
Oh, then the point goes to Tech. You get your legendary point. Yeah, you don't believe this is really happening. There's something broken about his compass. There's clearly nothing in the world that is affecting this right now. I mean, come on. I mean, that was clearly some animal down in the crater. Why are these people getting freaked out? You don't know. You're not cold. You're not wet. You're not miserable. This is just another day. It's fine. It's okay.
Well then, let's test this. Render, come here. You have the map and a compass.
Oh, righto, sir. And Render comes running over out of the mist and has a look at his compass. The compass is also spinning.
Well, shit.
You can see
Explain
him
that
tap it,
then.
like whack it against his ear, tap it, whack it against his ear. Ain't working, sir.
Alright, well,
Shit.
Anyone got a radio?
A radio? What do we look like? A large, solid installation?
Well, I know you talk to things in the sky, but
like satellites, you mean?
What? Do you mean the moon? This man's crazy. We must take him back to camp at once.
Professor.
He thinks we can talk to the moon. Madman.
Professor. Why is your hair falling out?
What?
Your hair.
No, it's not. No. Oh, God.
Okay, I need you to roll 2d12s.
We're bickering petulantly amongst ourselves to get some legendary points.
3.
Rich, delicious 12.
No. Unfortunately, you do not quite believe your hair is falling out. You think he's pulling your leg. He did pull that kind of like hilarious boo prank at you guys in the trench earlier, which put the willies up you all. So yeah.
Yeah. I just like pull a bit of like filthy mud from my face and throw it at him. Like, that's mud, you idiot.
Oh.
You guys have been
Intimidating him, somewhat one might say.
No, that's not. No.
Okay.
This is actually why I didn't want to open up the floor for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
So you guys have been walking for a bit in this strange mist, this strange darkness. Whoever is taking points, I want you to roll a perception check.
I think that
Be the
was
captain.
me. Yeah.
Because I've been making go up front.
Oh, fuck's sake. These dice are still not being nice to me. 4.
A 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything seems fine.
What kind of ground are we walking through at the moment?
Turned up mud.
No barbed wire or anything
It's,
at the moment.
it's currently all on proper no man's land. It's just dips and crevasses.
Okay. So once we've been walking for another 10 minutes, I'm going to call a halt.
Mhm.
Because by my estimations, we should now be halfway across no man's land.
Sure, if that's your estimation.
Yep, that's my estimation. So at that point, I'm going to call a halt and wait for the sounds of mortar fire to echo across no man's land before we push any further.
Your point man says he hasn't heard anything. You
Everything's fine.
haven't heard anything.
Are you sure everything's fine? We're right out in the middle of nowhere,
I don't know. I could take another look.
Well, What if I wonder whether those things are near your feet again. Do you want to just have a little stamp?
I stomp on the ground.
It
Start
doesn't-
tap dancing a bit.
Oh.
You hear stamping from further back in the marching order too. Ah.
You guys hear this low, mournful wail. It's low, but it's definitely not a wounded soldier. It's not male. This is definitely a female moan, and not in the good kind way.
Not in a happy moan in the middle of the no man's land.
This is a very unhappy moan, almost like a wailing widow.
I can
Is that where she
hear.
actually comes from?
Take a perception check.
Not with that roll.
No. No. You think it's... you think it's coming directly ahead of you?
I think it might be a German.
Might I suggest we move to flank? That's it, isn't it?
Proceed
think-
with caution.
I think we should wait here. 'Cause I assume is this 10 minutes past yet?
Let's go with you.
Yeah, okay. Then I think we should wait here until we hear the sound of water and fire.
Understood,
How
Corporal.
long do you want to wait?
Well, the mod fire should be kicking in very soon because they said they were going to start firing as soon as we're in position. We're already way past position. We've been walking half an hour through no man's land beyond position, so they should certainly be firing.
Yeah,
I'd have thought before now, but
yeah. You would have thought so.
I'll hang on for another 10 minutes.
About 5 minutes, you guys just sitting there in the cold, still hearing snatches of English and German. Those voices slowly fade out, and you don't think you can hear them anymore. Maybe occasionally a bit of a silent, a bit of a knocked. And then you see something walking towards you in the mist. It's whitish in colour, probably humanoid. It seems to
my
be
gun
coming
up.
from in front of you.
One or many?
Just one.
I'm going to whisper to the captain, like, I'll cover you. Go in and have a look.
Okay, I draw my gun and just steadily walk forward.
I'm going to whisper to the colonel. Is that wise? What happens if something happens to him? That's on you, that is.
That's why I'm covering him.
Take 2d12 rolls, guys. I know what you're doing.
6.
Really helps if I have better dice that I can read and no glasses.
Hang on a minute.
9!
6 and a 9. Yeah, you suddenly realise that this is your man, and you're sending him out alone into the mist. Spanners, you get the legend point.
I'm going to let go of the rope and start stepping away to kind of flank round this thing. So I'm kind of going off at a slight angle from the captain, so that while he's going directly towards it, I'm going off to one side so I can keep so he's not going to be at risk of being in the crossfire if I have to start shooting at this thing.
So you're
But I am
leaving,
moving further away from the group.
Alright, so you're leaving, I think it's Sergeant Kit, I named him.
Kirk
That's with you. Oh, Kirk. Yes, it's Kirk that's with you, and then there's
and
the,
Render and
Render
I can't remember
companion.
what the guy's name is.
Render
Companion.
companion.
That's it.
So those guys are going to stay with your mission specialists.
Yep.
Alright, you two approach. And as you get closer and closer, specialists and Render and Companion and Kirk, you kind of see them sort of become very hazy. They're kind of like hazy greenish colours. You can't really make them out very well anymore. And you can't see this whitish figure either, now that they've become mist shapes. You two, however, as you approach, you see this woman, and she's walking towards you, and she's wearing a long white night dress. She has very long dark hair, and she's walking towards you. She appears to be crying. She's barefoot. Take perception checks for me.
6.
13.
On a 13, you notice that although she is walking and she's barefoot, she doesn't appear to be leaving any prints behind her as she's making her way towards you.
Is she getting dirty? Dirty at all? Is the mud just like not touching her?
She's not... No. Nothing seems to be staining her dress, her face. She's leaving no prints. There's no dirt on her. But she appears like her face is very kind of puffy around the eyes as she's been crying for hours. And she's walking towards you guys.
I'm gonna shout out, "Halt!"
She turns and looks at you. And did you notice that she has these very bright green eyes?
I've got my gun kind of aimed at the ground near her feet, so I'm not aiming directly at her, but I can very quickly bring my gun to bear on her if I need to. But
I need you to make a mental endurance check for me. Actually, I need you to make one as well, Captain.
12.
10.
Okay. On the 12, there's something oddly familiar about this woman, but you can't place her. On the 10, you're pretty sure you know this woman. This is someone you should be familiar with. No. This is someone you definitely know. This is... Wait a minute. Is this... How could you have forgotten her? I mean,
Jackie?
This is your wife. How can you have forgotten her?
So, this looks like my wife.
You're fairly certain this is your wife. How could you have forgotten who she is? I mean, maybe it's the rigours of battle. Maybe you're just too intense on your mission. Maybe you just haven't seen her in a long time.
This sensation, is it overriding the fact that I can see that she's not leaving any trail in the mud or mud is not touching?
I know. You are still getting that. You can still see that.
So I'm still aware that this is... Yeah, okay. In that case, I'll hold my gun up and repeat, "Halt." Or has she come to a stop?
She already had stopped, yes. When
Okay.
you called out to her, she had stopped.
Okay, in that case, I won't point my gun at her. I thought she kept coming. What are you doing here?
I was coming to find you.
Why? Who are you?
You don't remember me. Your wife.
No, you're a strange, ethereal creature on a battlefield in the middle of Europe. My wife is in Yorkshire.
Some might say the same.
So sorry, that threw me. No, I'm here. I came to find you. They told me you died. They told me you were off on some mission and you wouldn't make it home. And she walks towards you and she puts her arms forward.
I shoot her.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, cucumber, could I hear that conversation?
You absolutely can, yes.
Okay, I didn't know whether it was a mental thing that only...
You can absolutely hear that.
Siren or something. Okay.
I will throw this out here, however. You have just seen your commanding officer shoot someone who claims to be his wife. As you fire, you see it get her square in the chest. You guys also hear the gunshot, by the way. You see it take her square in the chest, and she looks down, and you suddenly see that she's no longer floating. There's definitely mud on her feet. Her nightdress is old and tattered and has those little pink bows on it that you remember your lady wife having. And she looks up, and she has the face of Jackie, and you see this red stain just spreading across her chest as she looks up at you.
I'm going to turn away.
Cold. Okay.
I don't want to see this.
You, Captain, see her fall to her knees and reach out and grab one of his legs, and you feel a tugging at your trouser legs as well, and you see her land face in the mud. You see the exit wound bloody at the back of her.
Colonel?
Right, let's move on quickly. I'm going to kind of free my leg and quickly walk in a big circle around this so we can gather up the specialists and like head off around this area. If possible, kind of leading them far enough away that they can't see it, because I don't want to see this either.
Take a mental endurance check for me. This is going to be quite tough.
Nope, it's a 4. Oh, actually, sorry, an 8, because I've got 4 mental endurance.
You get to now have homesick as one of your weakness tags. I was going to go scarred, but I think you already have frightened, so...
Yeah.
You managed to circle around and make it back to the rest of the crew.
I'm going to just gather them up and go, come on, quick, let's go.
What the hell was that?
I don't know.
What happened?
Just part of this weirdness. Let's go.
Well, do tell.
No. Let's go.
Well, I want to see then. Come on. You're not along here for nothing.
Yes, you are. I'm going to grab the rope which is tied to your belt and start dragging you through the swamp.
Damn you, sir! I won't have this indignity!
As you yell that at the top of your voice in the middle of no man's land, you guys hear the squawking of crows that seem to be taking off in flights, but their crowing seems to be wrong. They appear to be more like questions of who and why and help. Just chorusing along as you pull this detesting man.
Keep it down.
No man's land.
Don't forget where we are.
It's really the only place it's not good to be shouting or firing guns at nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look at Professor Rubin at this point and say, look, just shush. You're going to get yourself a rope burn. Follow the man.
There's not really much point. You don't seem to be going to do anything. We're just dragged around by this bloody madman.
You know perfectly well what the mission is.
Yes, but when we find it, will he just shoot it?
Oh, you never know. I suppose we ought to leave them outside and get gun-ho, but...
You might as well have come in with the bloody Yanks.
Oh, wow. A part of me... No, fuck it. That part of me is British and she's standing by this comment. That comment... you and the scientist, our doctor and our professor can have a +1 on your mental endurance. You are bound by the loyalties of fuck the Yanks, we're British. You get to have an extra +1 on that, guys, because holy shit.
Was that me as well? Or?
Are you the professor or a doctor?
No, I couldn't hear you said.
Then no.
Okay.
No +1 for you, I'm afraid.
Oh. At least I didn't get mentally traumatized and get -1.
No, that's true. That's true. It's coming.
Yet.
I just shot my wife. I'm not sure how much more mentally traumatized I can get. There we go.
I don't know. How many more family members have you got?
Probably a couple of kids, you know.
Oh god.
Well, no, to be fair, the real trauma hinges on whether you believed it was your wife or not.
Well, no.
In which case,
all
then
the
why
time
would
it
it
was
bother you?
ethereal and floating nicely through the things. It was like, yeah, no, this is just rubbish. And then suddenly it became blood splattered, and I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
But the sensible part of my mind is well aware that my wife wouldn't be randomly wandering from the German trenches towards me in the middle of like no man's land. Even if she had somehow come to try and find me, this is not how. I would
Oh yeah.
encounter.
But that's the suspension of disbelief that comes with horror.
Yes. Alright, you guys
Or
are
say a battlefield.
continuing to make your way across no man's land. I want you all to make mental endurance checks.
Hey.
+1. Grumbling out Yanks. Still roll badly. Yeah.
12.
Glorious 8.
A 12. Wonderful.
12.
12.
Oh,
And
it was a glorious
Seven.
8.
No, who are you?
You.
Say crit.
You crit. Oh,
Yeah.
motherfucker. You spot a bit off to the distance. You spot what looks like a parapet?
A what?
Periscope? Periscope? Periscope.
Oh, that.
Periscope.
Periscope.
One of those things, yes. Parapet. Jesus. You're yeah. You see one of those. You see it low down. You see it off to the distance, off to your right hand side, but you definitely see it, and it does appear to be moving and turning. It's off to the distance. It's as far as you could possibly see. And as you look over in that direction, you realise you begin to see kind of slight reflections off of metal. Ah, you know what this is. This is barbed wire. This is razor wire. And that's all along, in all the distance you can see, looking left, looking right, you can just see rows and rows of this. You can see quite a few more craters from explosions and bombs, etc., etc. But you can spot this one periscope, and it's twisting and moving. You were, if you continued walking almost in parallel with this barbed wire, but now you've got your bearings. You see that, and you're pretty sure that's where you need to go.
Is my compass working now?
No.
Oh, we've still got the bolt cutters.
Do
Yes.
indeed. I believe that the doctor has them.
I gave them to. Oh, actually, yeah, no, you
No, I do still have them. Somehow.
I believe you use them to try and whack one of the
Skelly hand.
skelly hands, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I was going to say whack off, but decided I shouldn't.
Not a
Wait till you
skeleton.
finish your drink,
Yes.
dude.
Yes. To whack off. I mean, beat off. I mean, encourage to go away. There we are. Oh,
And I whack off the thing with the bones. Oh, god damn it.
Don't worry.
whack off the boner.
Yeah.
We remove them from my ankle.
Ooh, an ankle.
I've almost spat out my drink when I was hovering over what the pop-up says when you about the name of a weapon.
Oh, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, you spot this. What do you guys want to do now?
As you told us this,
What?
'cause I assume you were the only one who noticed this.
Yes, he's
Being our point man, I assume you shared this information with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just made a double check before I go. Quick, get down! Like everyone's like, why? Oh, wait, your captain's just seen something. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I forgot what we were talking about.
Okay, cool. So, seeing this periscope here, are there others up the trench, or is this the only one we can see?
This is the only one he can see. You can't see this. You can't even see the barbed wire.
Right. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to instruct the captain to find us a safe path towards the German trenches, avoiding periscopes if possible.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Also, you should probably take these bolt cutters so you can cut through this. I'll go forward with him and like try and hold the wire so that when it cuts, it doesn't just spring back and make a huge amount of noise. And
Okay. In
Get
that
on with it.
case, what are you doing with your mission specialist, and what are you doing with Render Companion and Kirk?
they are looking after the mission specialists, so they don't wander off in the fog and get themselves eaten.
So you're going to go out of normal eye shot, because it's only the captain that can see this barbed wire, really.
I'll get these the rest of them to come slightly further forward, but I'll sit them basically. I'll instruct Kirk to keep us just within eye shot, but
Okay.
stay back so that if we get shot at, it's not going to hit the mission specialists.
Is
Or
it quite hazy?
it's foggy and hazy as hell. Yes.
I don't know whether we should have a rope between us all.
No, your rope is not that long.
Also, we don't want to be. If we end up being shot at, we don't want it to be tying everyone else down.
Okay.
I mean, I do, but you guys won't.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Can we extend the rope in any way?
Not unless you're magic.
Can we not like
Unravel it?
fray it,
You wanna-
and then kind of tie the ends together and then make it double the length?
We don't need to be tied onto a rope as long as you keep an eye on us. We're not going to be going quickly. We're literally creeping through no man's land. We're not just suddenly going to rush off at full speed anywhere.
Unless a skeleton leaps out of the ground or something.
To be fair, if that happens, then being attached to us with a rope would be a really bad idea anyway.
Not if you're the slowest runner.
And the slowest runner is currently tied to a
ground.
rope.
Sorry, Kirk will keep you safe.
But yes, Professor, that is entirely possible. Just to
Okay.
answer your question.
I shall bear that in mind while they run off.
Okay, let's deal with the two running off first, because that's just always funny. I want you both to make... how are you doing this? I assume sneakily?
Yes,
Yeah.
creeping forward.
Both
Why
roll
not?
stealth checks. Sneak checks. These
Botch.
checks are difficult, so don't forget that. And with a botch. Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
10.
A 10. Okay. I want you both to roll perception checks for me.
9.
11.
Okay. You guys make your way over to this barbed wire. You pull out the bolt cutters and you begin to snip. The other one of you just holds it. And you think you're going quietly. You think you're going stealthily. You manage to let go of one of these coils of barbed wire very quietly, very gently, so you think. And you guys sneak forward a bit further and you think, yeah, made it past the first row. It's pretty sweet. And then you take a step towards the next ones and you've both become aware that there is something catching and attached to your legs. And as you look down, Colonel, you swear you saw something out the corner of your eye. A small, dark shape running in the mist that seems to have been moving this barbed wire. And as you look around, you're pretty sure that, yeah, that coil just bounced a bit. And you look over, it's like, wait a minute, that one seems to be moving of its own accord. And you see that little dark figure just flitting at the edges of your vision. And as you guys look down, some of this barbed wire has been wrapped around your leg.
I'm going to draw my knife because shooting at this thing this close to an enemy trench would be a really bad idea. So if this thing comes close to me, I'm going to slash it with my knife.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask Captain to kind of start cutting the bits around my leg free so I can get out of this. While
Okay.
looking around with a knife in case this thing comes back closer again.
Take a perception check.
12.
A 12. As he goes in to cut this barbed wire, and you're sort of like looking up and looking around, you look back and you see about 2 or 3 of these little dark shapes just scatter away from the captain, and you realise that they've attached more around his legs. It's not just one now, it's 3 or 4 pieces, and you see one that's just hooked up to his elbow as he goes to like continue cutting away at yours. You realise that something is attached to you now, Captain. But, you know, that could just be like the barbed wire tangling itself further around yourself. Yeah, you can't be sure.
Watch out, you've got some on your arm there, Captain.
Oh. A little compassionately help, please.
Are you asking?
Well, I'll say it's...
I want you both to roll, and that will determine the outcome of this.
7.
4.
You decide that your own well-being and being freed is more important than that of your man.
Well, once I'm free, I can take the bolt cutters off him and
sure.
free himself.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you need to go to sleep at night, Colonel.
So, am I now free?
I'm gonna go with yes.
Okay, I'm going to give the captain my knife.
Uh-huh.
So if one of these things comes, I'm going to tell him what I've seen as well. And if any of these come closer, stab them while I'm cutting you loose. And I'm going to start with his feet. so that when I cut his feet loose, he can start shuffling away from the rest of this wire.
Okay. All right, you can start with his feet. In that case, Captain, I need you to roll a perception check for me.
Hold on.
That's disturbing. I hope that's a pair of scissors or something.
Letter
That's a
opener.
knife.
What? Who has letter openers?
Yeah. Oh, you should see
People who
that.
receive a lot of letters, I guess.
That's what hands are for.
9.
A 9. You don't become quite aware of anything. I mean, you're not even sort of sure you see these little dark figures that he's talking about. Thirsty? Put those down. You're already in the doghouse. Don't make it worse. Okay. Yes. So you don't think you see anything, but you're definitely aware that some of this barbed wire is moving on its own. It's just flexing, but there could be the wind, right? I mean, it could be the wind that's flexing this very lightweight barbed wire, razor wire towards your kernel, right? I mean, that's totally a thing.
Yeah.
But you do manage to cut him free.
Cool. Once I've done that, I'm gonna pull him back so we can go back towards and gather up the mission specialists and the rest of the group.
Okay, you're through. Yeah, let's say you're through most of it.
Okay.
All right, those two have been left behind with Renders and Companion and Kirk. I want you both to roll perception rolls for me.
8. Oh no,
7.
sorry, 10. Didn't add the thing.
Still 7.
Oh dear. On a 7, you are blissfully unaware of anything happening.
Excellent.
On a 10, you hear the sounds of small creatures moving around. And you can hear them sort of like giggling like naughty children, knowing that they're, moments from getting caught. And they seem to be coming from where the two army guys are, not Render's Companion or Kirk, but the other two that have gone off. You seem to hear this little giggling and a little rushing sound, and yeah, it's uncomfortably close. What do you guys want to do?
So we have a mission. We need to get to that thing, and I think we need to speak to Kirk here and get him to take us to go and find the Colonel, so that we can, get to this before something bad happens.
Yeah, but Colonel said to stay here with you two.
That's true, but there's something much worse than the Colonel.
Oh, I don't think so.
You'd be surprised.
Have you seen that moustache? What a boy.
Ruben, do you want to assist in any way?
Well, you see here, sir. Well,
Sir, or what?
so, oh, fair enough. Good boy. Companion, is it? Companion?
Ah, it's Kirk.
Oh, you're Kirk, are you?
No, one of yours.
His companion was over there, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's Companion, and that's Render. I know they look basically the same, like completely average looks, average height, sickeningly the most average people we've ever met. I know that's what they are, but no to be rude about them. I look very different.
I'm sorry. You uniform chaps all look the same to me. Jolly striking, but it's called a uniform for a reason. Right. You see, we've been sent here to make sure we can deal with a very specific threat. Behind the lines, nothing to do with all you good chaps doing an awfully good job here, but far, far worse than you can possibly imagine. Now, are you a good Bible reading chap?
Oh, of course
Kirk?
I am. Baby
Yes,
Jesus
well-
and all that, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the rather wacky crackerjack ending, revelations, as they say?
Oh, it's about the end of the world, isn't it? Yeah, that kind of shit.
Yes. Well, imagine that all of that is about a mile or 3 over there.
Over there.
And then...
What? Hang on a minute.
Yep.
Are you telling me the end of the world
Reuben,
is
Don't,
north of France?
let on too much, dear.
Oh, don't worry. Imagine all of that sort of horror, all the most terrible things listed in that wonderful section of the Ernest book. And then imagine that we could put them over there, and that we could take them back from the Germans and stop them unleashing them. Now that's how important us getting through the wire is.
I'm not
You
sure
see?
I'm following, but I think I'm hearing that you're on some sort of mission from God to stop the end of the world.
Well,
Fire the king, yes.
Well, long live the king, I guess.
Yes.
Right, so I need to make sure you don't die between here and there.
Well, that would be excellent, yes.
Right then. Well, we'll stay here and wait for the colonel.
Ugh.
See him
I would point out we were heading back here, so we'll probably be coming into sight at some point.
You were cutting through barbed wire, man. You were sneaking.
True.
It's gonna take you a little time. So stop having fun tormenting these two.
so is there anyone at home that maybe you're looking forward to going back to?
Oh yeah. Her name's Sally.
Sally, and your mother, dear?
Oh yeah, her and all. But Sally, she's leggy blonde. She's one of those singing girls in the army. Oh,
Singing
Promised to wait
girls
for me.
in the army. Lovely. Up the feminism. So, if perhaps, something was to happen to you, do you think, someone would be there to look after her?
well, I should hope so. I mean, she's got all those other girls.
I see. But, if you were to not help us save, I don't know, humanity,
Ain't you the one that don't believe in Christmas?
nah, yeah, science would be the one. So, I'm dealing with fact here. So when I say that we're saving humanity, I'm giving you a fact. I'm using proof. Which means that if something terrible happened, you're not going to be there to look after dear Sally, are you? And some horrible thing might take your place. How about that?
I'm not
Up
sure,
for looking
miss,
after the
but
town?
I think I'm hearing that you're threatening her. At this point, the other two can have turned up. Oh look, it's thank God, thank God. It's the Colonel. Oh, Colonel, they're safe and sound. And then he leans in, and is like, oh, I don't want to be rude or anything, but that woman was really scaring me.
Yeah, it's best you don't listen to what they say. Civvies, they get stressed in these situations.
All right, sir. I get you.
Right, right. You look, keep quiet and follow me. Captain, you take point again.
It seems to be his approach to everything, doesn't it?
What's that?
Big gobby.
Point to these. Stop talking and let's go.
Okay, you guys, are you attempting to sneak your way forward? Are you running
Yes.
forward like you give zero fucks?
No, I'm sneaking forward
Sneaky.
and occasionally kind of giving admonishing glances to our mouthy librarian
She's a
because
doctor,
he seems to not know
actually.
when to be quiet.
She's a
No,
doctor.
the other one.
Actually. Oh, that one. He's a professor, actually.
Yeah, librarian, bookworm.
Bookworm.
Yes, and you can be quite assured that I am not shutting up. I will not
Okay.
be talked to in such a manner. I mean, I have a healthy sense of preservation. I'm not going to be shouting, but I will definitely be grumbling and harumphing.
Grumble
Okay.
extremely quietly,
Oh,
or
in
you'll
that
be
case, I
explaining
would
to
like
an
all of
officer.
you to make sneak checks then, please. And can I... No, actually, no, fuck it. They'll ride your sneak.
Ah. I may in fact take a legendary point for that one.
Okay.
Ah. There's one better. 5.
Oh, wow. How many legendary points do you have?
I've got one left.
Oh, wow. Don't forget you didn't start with 2.
No, I know.
Okay.
I had one left over from last week, and I earned one today.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Next.
11, not a botch.
10.
9.
Actually, I lied. Mine was 6. Sorry, not 5.
Lies.
Because that makes the difference. You all managed to sneak your way through this cut barbed wire. You keep an eye out for that kind of periscope thing, but you just can't place where it is anymore. You're like having to turn back and watch this insane scene between Kirk and our doctor. You kind of lost sight of where it is, and it's just faded into the mist, so you can't be sure if it's seen you or not. And as you guys make your way through this barbed wire that seems to want to cling to you, and you think you make it out the other side okay, and you guys hit the top of the trench.
Oh shit.
For everyone who rolled a 14 or below, which was the check, I need you to roll 2d6.
Hey.
5.
My habitual 5.
8.
5, 5, 8, and a 10. Yeep. 2 9s and a 5.
Just how many soldiers we've alerted to our presence.
Yeah. It's how many alarms we've set off.
Yeah.
28
Soldiers
platoons.
rushed down the trench towards us. Like, crap.
Are you guys going into the trench now you're at the top of it? I mean, to be fair, it's kind of the only place to go, but you can do that, or you can continue going along the sides.
It'd be better to drop into the trench because we'd be less conspicuous in a trench.
Okay. As you guys climb your way into the trench, that kind of like feeling that, you know, you're pretty sure you made it through the barbed wire a-okay. As you like climb down into the trench, you suddenly become aware of all these like cuts and scrapes on your body. And as you kind of like look down at yourself, you realise that your legs are torn to pieces. Not only are they torn to pieces by pieces like little barbed wire, which is still kind of like partially broken off and stuck into the backs of your legs, you can see that there are definitely claw marks slightly higher up your, like behind your knees and sort of like at the bottoms of your thighs. And you've each taken, average, I think, of 8 damage. Unmitigated.
Oh, that's good.
Bugger.
I believe
I'm
some of
on
you
1 hit
are
point.
unconscious. 1. Whew.
Wow.
Medic.
Unfortunately, I can't kill renders or companion because they're still rendering.
So right before we go anywhere, we're going to need to patch you guys up because you're looking pretty, especially the captain, who I assume at this point is kind of barely able to move, being kind of.
Yeah, I'm on
almost dead.
one hit point of 17.
Okay, yeah. In that case, I think was it Render was our medic.
Render is the medic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was my dude. Yeah, Render, see to the captain there, and I'm going to keep watch and get companion to watch the other direction.
All right. I want you to roll a medic check for Render. Render is your bitch, isn't he? And companion is the captain's.
I rolled a 5, so do you want to just use my medic skill
It's
or
your
his?
medic skill. Yep, because he's still.
I have 3 in medic, so that's 8.
You can attempt to heal him. Go for it. How many ranks of
Cool.
medic do you have?
0.
Oh, roll a d4 and plus 3.
1, so 4.
You get up, like you guys see Render pull out the. To be fair, Render was always shit at medics. You see Render pull out the medic kit, and you see him like extract pieces of this barbed wire from your legs. And you see him like bind a very, very basic bandage, but it's not particularly tight and it's not particularly good, and he didn't disinfect anything. No, he would do at that time in age anyway. And yeah, he ties me up, and you heal a grand total of 4 hit points. Yeah.
Up to 5.
Yeah. What's the state of the back of this trench?
This trench that you are in, now that I can describe it, the trench that you are in is lined with wood, so lined like parallel with the ground. You have upright supports. You notice as you look down to the left, it extends quite a way, but it's It's deathly silent. There's nothing there. And again, you notice that complete lack of like small wildlife. You don't hear any crickets. You don't like hear the sounds of anything moving or shifting. And if you look down the other end, you can see that it goes off for a short distance and then turns abruptly left. And as you look down this road, you realise that it turns abruptly left, as if the corners themselves are they're very sharply made. They're very tight right angles. But you can't see where this goes beyond the fact that it turns.
Right, and the wall of the trench ahead of us, they say it was made of wood.
Yep.
Would it be fairly easy to climb up it?
Probably not. It was a
Okay.
bit of a mission to get down, but you guys made it down because going down is far easier than trying to get up.
Yeah, I'm just thinking rather than walking down this enemy trench where we're pretty much guaranteed to run into soldiers, if we can just climb out the back and kind of skirt around the back of the compound, we have much better chance of avoiding enemy contact. So
I can't say a word.
I think if we get Captain, do you fancy going up there first and having a poke round?
Yes, I shall do that.
I'll give you me and Kirk can give you a boost up while Companion and Brenda keep a lookout down each end of the trench.
For sure.
Excellent. I pop my head out of the trench.
Ahead of you, you can see more fog. It's much thinner than it was in No Man's Land. And if you look behind you, No Man's Land is obliterated. It's obscured completely. But looking forward again, you can see that the fog here is much less, and you can see that there are trees in front of you.
Found some trees.
And now you're higher up. Roll a perception check for me.
5.
Yeah, that's all you spot, all you see, all you hear.
Okay, can you climb all the way up then?
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely
And then
doable.
give us a hand passing up the specialists.
Okay. I
Alright.
shall
Cool.
do that.
You are boosted up. You essentially help the rest of your crew back up.
Mhm.
You are on the other side of this trench.
Cool. Right, let's make our way towards the tree line because that'll probably be the easiest place to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, you climb yourself up, you pull yourself towards the trees. You are in the forest proper now. Now you are here, you can hear the sound of mortar fire. You can hear the sounds of bombs dropping. You don't know how you didn't notice it before, but you can definitely hear them now. The fog is almost completely gone, at least within this tree area.
Is my compass working again?
You have a look, and it's... As you kind of like turn directions, it seems to be spinning madly as you turn to your left, which is... Actually, you couldn't tell properly, actually. As you sort of like turn to your left, it seems to be spinning madly, but as you turn to the right, it seems to point north.
Okay.
Just fixedly standing in a solid state.
Okay, so I'm going to show that to our scientist and see if she can shed any more light on this. Like, so what's going on with this compass then? Over here it's doing this, and over here it's not doing that. So what could be causing that?
Well, the way that a compass works is to do with magnetic fields. You've got polarity. You would have a pull automatically towards the North Pole. So when you are obviously pointing your compass, then it's going to be dragging it north. Now, there must be something underneath that Earth which has some kind of magnetic field, which may well be creating this sort of unique weather environment, which is why we have the fog, which is why over here we can see. Now, if we move over here, and I could take your hand and point you towards where the compass is actually working. Over here, this is maybe where there is no magnetic field. And do you know, there's a really interesting study about this, that actually if you take a magnet and put it underneath a compass, it makes it spin because it interrupts the magnetic field. Would you like me to keep going?
I'm just going to invoke skeptic at the point.
I would like the two specialists to roll your knowledge or your mystic knowledge. This check is relatively easy compared to what all the other checks have been.
13.
17.
It's the Best roll we've seen there so far, I think.
Holy fuck! Between you, you know. Let me just scroll down to the appropriate section. I have to make sure I have the correct phrasing. You are both aware that if there is a slight interruption in the Veil of Seeming, where it is thinnest between the planes, that can cause havoc with mundane machinery. In other phrases, it essentially disrupts the magnetic flow of the Earth in a particular point because there is a break between the veil.
And would this be a good example of something that can't be seen?
This is an excellent example of something that can't be seen. However, it is something that can be measured.
Does she have a tool to measure it?
She knows that this is a potential thing.
So can I not invoke Skeptic at this point then?
I'm going to say no, because this is actually part of their particular department area of work. There is a reason why they have a mystic and a reason why they have a scientist.
Okay. So now that we've established which way north is, Renda had a map, didn't he?
Yeah.
Map and compass. Okay, Renda, can you try and see if you can estimate best you can where we are on this map?
Well, sir, to be blatantly honest, I think we're somewhere in the trees.
Okay, thanks, Renda. Get back on watch.
Renda goes back on watch.
So, which direction is the mortifier coming from?
The mortifier is coming from...
East?
It's coming a little bit east and south.
Excellent. That puts us at pretty much where we wanted to be.
Does it?
Yes, because they were firing at the shortest point, and we were to the west of that.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that we can hear explosions from the east...
And south.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Southeast is the shortest point.
Yeah, southeast.
Yeah. Because we went across a broader point.
Yeah, but it wouldn't necessarily mean that you're a complete diagonal from that. It's coming from
true.
the south and to the east, and you guys' perception wasn't that high.
True.
So,
Okay.
or
That's the
rather
sound
phrasing,
bouncing
I'm
off,
allowing
isn't
you to assume what you wish, but that may not be the truth.
Yes, my character is using the best information he has available to him at the moment, and I'm going to just see if I can bring this map up again.
Lookouts, like, it's on the stream, dude. You're looking at it. If you have me pinned, it's in the center.
That's right. Yeah, so I'm assuming that if this little close bit is where they've been mortaring, then we've gone across the fat bit, and we should be somewhere around the compound or the place I can't be next to it.
You can assume that all you wish. There are some other things I stated at the very beginning you may want to be aware of.
That was last session, I can't remember that.
At the very big... Okay, sure. I'll let that sentence stick in for a minute.
Right, so I'm going to assume that we are, as we've hit the tree line without going through a large encampment, I think if we head east until we come across the encampment, that will either be the compound or the other place that I can't read because the bit pixelated.
That's fine. So, you're heading east.
I think so, yeah. Skirt along the tree line to the east and keep an eye on the trench, what we can see of the trenches,
Okay.
until we come across something more substantial.
Okay. You guys are running through the trees. I want all of you to make a perception check for me, please.
Crit. Crit.
Holy fuck balls.
12.
7.
We'll go with the 2 crits, shall we?
13.
As you guys are meandering through this tree line, you can see... As you guys are meandering through this tree line, you walk for a good 10-15 minutes, and then you see movement ahead of you. And you stop the group just in time as you realise that there are 2 men walking, wearing large overcoats, carrying weapons. One of them is smoking a cigarette, and that's how you spotted him. You spotted him by the slight glow as he draws in. And they are walking in your general direction.
I assume we have a fair bit of warning because they managed to get a crit on that.
Yes, they did.
Is there anywhere we can duck into cover and wait for them to go past?
Well, you are in a forest.
That's kind of my point. Like, if there's like a large bush or something, I'm going to grab the specialist and like tuck down.
Okay, you can try that.
Find it.
In that case, I want you 3 to roll sneak checks for me.
I'm going to assume that the captain is capable of hiding himself, so I'm just worried about getting them to cover.
5.
Oh.
I spent a legendary point on that one, my last one.
You have a legendary point if you want them, I think, don't you?
Sorry?
I'm talking to Spanners. I think you have legendary points, do you not?
I do. I think I might use one.
I managed to just make my roll worse with a legendary point.
Oh dear, well you have to take that one.
5.
Oh!
I also got a 5.
Oh! Unless you're about to tell me you got the mother of all crits, which made you get a 21 or something. What did you get?
Who?
Thirsty.
I got a 12, just a standard 12.
Okay. You pull these 2 into the bush. Somehow the professor manages to, like, you know, get himself into the bush. Like, get off. Like, managed to get himself in the... But you, like, kind of like, you go to inadvertently just, like, grab at the doctor and pull her down into the bush. You realise, actually, you've grabbed her far harsher than you meant to be. Like, she's like, a bit more delicate than the general soldier you're used to dealing with. Like, you can't just throw them on the ground however you wish. You think it may come across as a bit inappropriate. And you both just essentially just tumble to the ground. Making a lot of sound as you like crack branches and like rustle leaves, etc., etc. What's the captain up to?
I'm just gonna try and hide behind a tree.
All right, go sneak for me, man.
Fudge.
Uh-oh.
It's not a botch, but it's not really much better than that. 4 in total.
Are you hiding in the same place the others are?
Yeah. All for 1.
Oh, wow.
If we just die, we'd all just flatten this bush by just diving on top of it.
Yeah, you see your colonel just like and pulling the doctor down behind this bush, and you see them like kind of like fall over and tumble. You see the professor kind of like just like managing to like nimbly step out of the way and like begin to hide behind this bush. But essentially, because it's a group fail now and it's funnier, you basically just dive after the colonel thinking, oh, he's got the great idea, and you dive into it. You basically just flatten the bush and just roll, which unfortunately is going to leave all 4 of you exposed. It's just too funny. Wow. Okay, all 4 of you are exposed. All 4 of you have been spotted and seen by the walking, patrolling soldiers, and that's where we will take a quick 10-minute break. Oh, to re-enter the stream. Thank you, guys. Continuing our proud tradition of fucking up intros. So, there we go. We are back. You guys are being approached by 2 soldiers. They are wearing long, dark, grey woolen overcoats. They have rifles, and they are walking towards you. As they spot you guys diving into a bush, you see the one with the cigarette quickly throw it off to one side, and they raise their weapons. And they shout at you. Who speaks German?
I do.
Cool.
Ich liebe dich.
Wer bist du?
German in brackets.
German
Hello.
in brackets.
Habe einen Krankenwagen?
Krankenhaus? Do you need the crank? Essentially, what they're asking you right now is, you basically shouted out "I love you" in German, and they were like, who are you?
German, your wife.
In German, you would speak fluent German. So,
Yeah.
you are now responding your wife.
Yes.
I'm going to give you 1 chance to consider that. You are in enemy territory. You have just yelled that I love you in German to 2 German soldiers. You are clearly a dude. They asked you who you are, and now you're responding with your wife. I'm giving you 1 chance to consider if that is truly what you answer with.
Okay. Retraction accepted.
Thank you.
We're lost.
No shit. Who are you? What are you doing here? Step out where we can see you. And your friends.
I step out.
I'm going to, seeing that this hasn't gone completely wrong yet, and hearing like the tone of voice that he's using, I'm going to kind of like stagger out, like exceptionally, like as if I'm drunk, and like take a long slug from like a canteen I've got a thing, and then possibly like slump against a tree.
Oh wow! Take a manipulate charisma for me. Is this going to be kind of tough because that's a really hard sell.
It's dark.
Yeah,
Crit.
it's also pretty.
I crit that shit.
You see them lower their guns.
I go to belch and accidentally actually throw up.
Oh, that's amazing.
Adding class there. Yeah.
That is both a crit and a botch. Yeah, you vomit against the side of this tree, and the two German patrolling soldiers lower their weapons, and they look over at your companion, the colonel, throwing up on the side of a tree. And it's like a heavy night. Got lost.
Yeah.
Where? What about the rest of your companions? And they nod over at your 5 other companions hidden in this flattened bush.
Yeah, we're all part of the same
God.
reconnaissance team.
I'm sorry, what? And you see them raise their weapons again.
What do you mean? What?
Reconnaissance team. There aren't
Yeah,
any
just-
other reconnaissance teams out there. There shouldn't be any teams out here. Who are you? Where'd you come from? Where are you stationed?
Classified?
Take. Okay, I'm gonna go. Take a manipulate charisma check. No, intellect check. And I'm gonna
And
tell you
crit.
it's a really difficult check because that tone of voice, mainly.
I would point
Is it
out at this point. I would point out at this point that, like, although like we have no insignia and like no obvious British equipment, Kirk is just a random dude in full British gear.
Yeah. I
Oh, shit.
I haven't even got to that point.
No, I'm pointing this out to them in case they have forgotten
Yeah. So what,
as a player.
what did you get, Karun?
Sorry, what is it?
Manipulate intellect, but it's really tough because of that tone of voice.
Okay. 12.
Oh wow. They are clearly not buying this shit. And you see the guy who has been talking to you raise a whistle and blow, and they both jump into cover, into hiding behind the trees, and they start firing at you. So they get to go first because you royally screwed that. Classified?
As we're hiding behind whatever it is we're
Flattened bush.
throwing ourselves, our very flat bush, I'm going to shout over the top in my appalling attempt at German, Wir haben Spinne gefressen, which clearly I did not read properly from my handbook.
Oh wow. Well, let's deal with shots 1 and shots 2 going towards
in the
Captain here.
moment, I actually have intuition that lets me join the surprise round,
You
which I'm
do,
going to
yeah,
use
yes.
to run the fuck away
Alright.
until I reach the end of my safety rope, at which point I will twang and fall on the floor.
I like the fact that you're using your intuitive like nature to run away and then get pulled back like a rat on a bungee.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one of them botched, and the other one got a 3. So 2 shots go wide as they fire at you. You do indeed manage to run and bounce like a bungee, and basically fall on your ass as you get pulled back on the rope. And the Colonel, you also feel this as you're like throwing up at the side of the bush. You feel this sharp tug as the
I'm not
civilian
tied, Tom.
tries to make his run.
I was
You were
holding
the
it in my
last-
hand earlier.
Yeah, you were the last one who had hold of it, so hence why
Okay.
you're feeling it.
I forgot I was holding it in my hand.
Right, what do you guys want to do?
I We need to.
Oh, Miss German speaking. Make a charisma check for me. Manipulate charisma to see if you can woo them with your terrible German. I gotta let you know this is gonna be kind of tough.
Considering I just told them I ate them. Yeah. 12.
They didn't seem impressed that what you wanted to do was eat them. Some random woman who's turned up possibly from the other side and has threatened to eat them. This does not stow well in the things that they know. So alas. Okay, Captain, what do you want to do? You're standing in the middle of this, you're getting shot at. Both shots have thankfully gone wide.
So they're hiding behind a tree. They've guns sticking out the side of it.
Yeah, let's go with that. Why not?
Okay, I'm going to fire my gun at their hand that I can still see sticking out at the side of the tree.
Okay.
Try and shoot
kind
their hand to me.
Okay, that's going to be kind of difficult because you're shooting at a very small target in the dark.
Yeah. 8. That's 12 to attack.
I'm gonna say you probably shoot the weapon.
Okay, yeah.
You're not
I'll
gonna
take
shoot their hand.
Sorry?
You're not shooting their hand, but you're possibly hitting their weapon. Roll
I
some damage.
hit the weapon. Oh, I don't know why I'm rolling that. Hang on.
Say possibly.
D8. Yeah. 8. Can't see the bloody thing. D8 plus 4, so... Oh, I've got an 8, so that's good. So 12 damage.
Okay. You shoot, you hit the weapon. The weapon basically just goes pew, 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 and just flies off in a direction, and you just hear "Shiz" as he pulls his hand back in.
Okay.
Colonel, what do you want to do?
I am going to gesture for Kirk and Render to go. Sorry, Kirk and character to go round to flank round towards the trenches, and me and Render are going to flank the forest side and try and get round so we can get a good shot from the side.
Okay.
Because trying to shoot against trees is going to be pointless, and we need to do this quickly and quietly. So we're going to try and get in position and then take them out with just 1 or 2 shots. Because the mortar fire, I assume, is still going on, so it'll give us a little bit of cover.
This whistle is definitely being heard.
Yeah, but there's nothing I can do about that now. It's already been done. So, yeah, so we're going to flank around the side and try and take them out as quickly as possible.
Okay, you spend your turn gesturing, commanding your men, and
and then
wander.
So basically, I gesture to the side, then drag Render with me off around to the other side.
You and Render, eh? Cool. In that case, Doctor, what are you up to?
I think I am. I'm going to, before I run away, because I'm going to run away. I'm going to shout at the Colonel to chuck his compass to me, so that I can use it to work out if there is anything else on its way.
Okay. I'm going to say that you can do that. I'm going to say that as he's sort of like heard this, you know, he's nearish by, he throws you the compass. You have the compass in your hands.
Okay, and I'm going to try to run a safe distance away from the gunfire.
I'm going to assume that the Reuben has in fact gone the correct way away from the gunfire.
Okay,
so
I'm going to follow the rope
towards him. Yeah, you're following the rope. Actually, funniest sake, I'm going to say that you have hold of the rope. It was you're just holding on to it and him like pulling against that made him fall over. So, I'm going to say you two are attached to this rope one way or another, holding it or attached. So yes, you run to where the rope is completely slack and you find a somewhat laying down, looking a little bit stunned Reuben. What do you want to do, Reuben?
Reuben at this point is absolutely sure he fell over because he was shot. Having completely forgotten about the safety line.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And being a massive hypochondriac, he's just laying there, like, patting himself down, trying to find where he's been hit.
Yeah, you totally see this when you arrive.
Yeah. As Abby comes, like, as Dr. Abigail comes closer, I'm like, leave me! I've had it! Run!
Are you bleeding?
I must, surely, somewhere. I can't find it.
Well, I wonder if it kind of grazed you and maybe you got internal bleeding.
Oh, God.
We'll never be able to find that.
Roll 2d12s.
I'm doomed.
I want you to win this.
Oh, 11.
Oh shit, 7.
Sad times. Sad times. You don't believe
See-
you're probably. It's that ridiculous sentence that you're just like, wait a minute.
So, they appear to be like shooting people. So should we? You're good at hiding. Let's hide together.
Yes. Direction. Where are we going? You had.
Yes, compass.
Yes.
Looking at the compass, running in the direction that you two were, away from the gunfire, you notice the compass spins, but if you pointed it back towards, it just points, as you would assume, north.
I don't think we want to be running this way. Equally, we don't really want to be running into the gunfire, so we need to make a decision, really. Is it cake or death, really? Should we go?
I've always been one for cake. Maybe we could skirt around the death. Assume that greater quantities of cake lay on the outskirts of death.
Okay. So sort of. I don't really want to say the word undead because it's not really a thing.
Oh, ye of little
cake.
faith.
Yes.
We will get
Be a
back to
great big
where you two are running to in a minute because this conversation is hilarious. You wouldn't have had time to run. Okay, we're gonna go back to the two patrol guys who are. One of them is pulling his sidearm, and he's aiming the gun at. Oh, you two have done a runner, haven't you? He's gonna aim his gun at the retreating captain for a botch, and that weapon goes wide. And the other guy who still has his rifle out is going to aim at the colonel, who is attempting to flank him. For a fuck all. You dice have failed me. Both the dice you two have got me have failed me this evening. I hate it. Yeah, these two shots go wide.
They're loyal.
Captain, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna sod it. Can I see one of the other guns that they've got?
You can probably see the rifle pretty clearly, but the smaller gun probably not so much. Not unless you want to do an active perception for it.
Gonna be even harder to knock a rifle out of the hand, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I mean, you did seriously destroy the other one, but
Yeah.
you could just alternately shoot the guy.
Can I see him from where I am though? Or are they still behind a tree?
I'm gonna say that you can see glimpses of them here and there. So it
Okay,
would have to be
okay.
at the right time. You could take the shot. It's just gonna be very difficult, but all the checks in these 3 games are. So.
Okay. I'll give it a go then. I'll try and attack whichever one I can see the clearest.
Let's say you've been wailing on the dude with the now he's called his little service pistol, revolver, whatever the hell it is. So say you continue wailing on that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
Okay. Let's see. 13.
13. Your shot just goes wide and it just sinks into a tree.
Okay.
All right, Colonel, what are you up to?
So me and Render now, I assume, managed to make it around the flank of these guys.
I'm gonna say you made it to flank, yeah.
Cool. So yeah, me and Render are this side, and we've got Kirk and Garrett the other side. So we're gonna, fill them full of crossfire.
Gonna pump them full of lead.
Well, basically, we're the British military. We're going to take aim and we're going to shoot them. We're not just going to randomly fire bullets in the air and hope for the best.
we're not yeehaw Yankees are firing in the air and hope for the best.
Exactly.
Alright, okay.
Oh,
Crit.
Okay, yes. Yes, you tell me how you kill that one, because fuck that guy.
I take careful aim and I put a shot through his chest.
Okay.
Going on the side, under one armpit. As
that-
he's taking aim there, straight through the chest cavity and just have him collapse.
No nonsense British way of
No
doing
knots.
this
I'm not
shit.
screwing this around. Just centre body mass. Take out the heart, lungs.
Okay.
none of that fancy trick shooting here, lad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking shooting. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, you nail this guy, and you hear him like fall to the ground, and you hear him swearing in German, words of which I will not repeat. Okay. I'm gonna have you both roll for render a companion, just to attack the remaining guy because you are all in flank, but it's their go.
Are you attacking? Are you rolling for Kirk?
No, I'll just have him roll for companion.
Okay.
I'll roll for Kirk, yeah. Nope, Kirk fucks it too.
Render fucked it. He rolled a 2.
I rolled a 2 as well.
No, okay.
Jesus. You guys see 3 shots like pew 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 go completely wide on this last guy, and you see this last guy just like push himself away from the train, dive into the bushes, and go for a roll. And he's beginning to run, and you hear him blowing his whistle. What are the 2 mission specialists doing? You two are on your own. You are running away. What are you doing? Have you decided where you're going? Whether you are skirting the edge of death looking for cake, or if you're going for cake?
I was going to skirt around the fight, assuming that we have come across on the west of where we wanted to go. I am going to skirt along, continue to head what I broadly assume is west.
As we go further away from these guys, is the compass getting faster?
Yes. Take a perception check for me. Both you.
Nope.
Possibly not. 8.
With an 8, you see some non-natural lights ahead of you. So these aren't fireflies, this isn't the moon bouncing off of a shiny object. This is definitely man-made, placed in particular places, lights.
Okay, I think we may have found our destination. We want to, we want to make sure that we can get to the artifact, so we don't want to, run off and get ourselves killed. So we are going to kind of need those guys.
Can we trust them to find their own way?
Their own way? Are they going to know where we've gone?
We're going to have to go back for them, aren't we?
We are, they're very brawny. Potentially lacking a little bit between the ears, though.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
you may go back for them. He's going to hide in the bush.
I'm going to take the rope that's tied to him, and tie it to the bush.
Okay.
Yes, you can hold on to one end, and then you won't lose me. Well done.
No, I'm going to leave this tied to this bush, and stride back towards the soldiers.
Okay. 2 soldiers. You can hear the sounds of someone making their way back towards you from behind, very faintly, but you do see this other soldier running off into the distance, blowing on his whistle. He's definitely still within running down range. You can still run after him and knife him. You can still shoot him from afar, or you can just let him go. It's up to you.
I'm going to, in the vague off chance that people haven't yet heard his whistle, I'm going to try and shoot him again.
Okay.
Because I'm not very good with a knife. That's pretty good, though. 11.
Okay. He is running away in the dark. So your shot goes wide. Captain, what do you want to do?
I thought I'd run after him and whack him in the back of the neck with my knuckle dusters.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. So, take it up. I've successfully run up behind him.
Yeah, it's not that difficult.
Okay.
I mean, you could fall on your face, but I want to see if you managed to hit him in the back of the head with a pair of knuckle dusters.
Okay, so that is a 10. Hang on. Plus, so 17 attack.
Yeah, that's gonna hit. Yeah. How do you want to take this motherfucker out?
What is it? It's a D.
You don't need to roll. How do you want to take this motherfucker out?
Oh, I just
Displaced vertebrae.
split a vein in the back of his neck with the punch, and yeah.
All right. You basically just punch him so hard that you rupture the skin, and you just happen to rupture one of like the veins in the arteries in the back of the neck. And as he goes down, all this blood just goes straight into your face, just completely drenching you from head to toe. And as you kind of like look down at this body and then look back up and like turn towards your captain, like your knuckles, your colonel, your knuckles like still clenched. You look around and Colonel, you can just see this short English squaddy drenched from head to toe in blood and this slight maniacal smile as you see this glint off of his very polished knuckle dusters. I want you to make an mental endurance roll.
Good job, lad.
And a fist pump in the air as well.
Yeah.
12.
A 12. You don't gain intimidated on your on your weaknesses. You are fine.
That's either.
All right.
God,
In all
that's a
fairness,
fine bit of Yabu Shucks Fritzy, wasn't it? God.
yeah. All right. Well, you guys are kind of all back together now, ish. What do you guys want to do?
Is there... Can we stuff these bodies under a bush so it'll give us at least maybe a few minutes
Yes.
until, if someone comes to look?
Take a sneak check for me.
9.
Yeah, you just pull them under a bush. I mean, there's nothing fancy about it. It'll gain you maybe a couple of minutes. That's it.
It gives us a few minutes, so. Right, and then we should continue circling eastwards to try and find this compound. Assuming that the two scientists have caught back up with us.
One of them is still tied to a bush.
I'm not aware of this, though, so.
Like a fucking goat in Jurassic Park.
Man.
You know, I am capable of untying the knot, but
was gonna say,
I just don't see the point
invalid.
right now. I see it as a handy way of them finding their way back to me.
I guess I see the doctor now. Kind of.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I'm like, where's the other one?
Oh, he's under a bush. This is what happens when you study too many books and, believe in things. What happened to the Germans?
They're dead.
They're
We
dead?
stuffed them under a bush.
Oh,
We probably
yes.
have a couple of minutes before their friends come looking for them.
They had uniforms. Any chance that we could maybe borrow them? I don't need them.
They're probably a little bit bloodstained. One of them took a bullet straight through the chest, and the other one drenched my captain in blood, so I'd imagine his uniform isn't much better.
I'm just going to wave.
Yeah, I want you to also make a mental endurance roll, Doctor, as you see this kind of dude completely caked head to toe in blood, looking maniacal.
8.
You may now get to have intimidated on your weakness test.
And noticing the reaction that my captain's having, I'm going to order him to clean himself up a bit. Just like, splash some water in your face, Captain. You look like something that just crawled out a pit.
Oh, okay. Beginning to like this. Is there a river nearby?
No.
You got a canteen on you.
Oh, just pour it over myself.
As you fair, the Germans have probably got canteens on them. You could use theirs if you want to save your own.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll nick theirs.
So what do you guys want to do now?
Get out of here.
Suppose we better go and untie the other one.
Yeah. So as soon as we've retrieved our wayward librarian.
As soon as I see them coming into the woods towards me, I just untie the rope. Just like sling it over my shoulder. Just like I just like coil it up and sling it over my shoulder and just like, all right, where are we going? What's happening, man?
East, quickly, before this more patrols turn up.
I'm going to point out the lights to the to the Colonel, and so now I think we may need to be up there. There's something there that I think we probably need to go and get.
Okay. Which direction are these lights?
West.
These were east.
They were in the direction opposite of where you were running. So like, yeah, you
east.
two were running
Okay.
towards it. So that's the direction you want to be going.
Okay, I'm going to head towards those lights, whichever direction those are in. And I think if we leave Kirk and character with the two specialists, and we'll go me, the captain, and Render can go slightly ahead, and make sure we don't run into any other patrols.
All right, I need you two to make perception checks then.
10.
Oh, Christ's sake. Hang on. Ow. Get off. Perception. 4.
With that much red light, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Let's go to emergency lighting.
You two aren't sure that you see those lights very much, but you're not particularly sure about it. Nope,
We
not
can't see lights in the dark with a roll of a 10.
You're not sure you see them. I mean, you're heading in that direction, but yeah, you're just not sure. I mean, they could just be fireflies in the night. I mean,
Can I see any points of light at all?
they could be fireflies.
That'll do. I'll head towards the fireflies.
Okay. Would you, as a colonel in the British Army, be heading towards fireflies or not?
Well, if there's light and it's dark, I can't see how this is that difficult to see.
I can't. You can roll a knowledge check if you want, because there's a chance you may know something about what's going on here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
11.
11. Let me refer.
Sorry,
back
12. Sorry.
Let me refer back to the bullshit I sent you way back when. You are aware that there is some weird shit, as your boss told you about this mission. So you had your little for your eyes only documents. But there was also a for your ears only, which is kind of like the informal, by the way, you might want to know this. He informed you that there may be some very odd things that you can't explain happening. And it will get more intense as you go towards this particular weapon of the Axis. He said you might want to keep an eye on your men and make sure that they maintain their British professionalism.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to go back to the site of the doctor, and so where are these lights? I can't see them.
So when we were running, we can see them. They're just up there. They're not natural, and we can tell that they're not natural from the colour. And if you look at them, they may look a little odd to you. They might not look like. If you notice, we've not seen any bugs. We've not seen any animals. So if you are seeing light, it's quite likely that to be from an unnatural source.
Okay, I'm going to head in the direction she just pointed.
Okay. Bearing everything that she has just described to you guys, whether you were paying attention to it or not, you guys head towards where she was pointing, and the further you walk, the more... Actually, yeah, those fireflies might not be fireflies. You can't hear any sounds of animals still. It's still that kind of very deathly quiet. Though you can still hear like the rustling of leaves now, however, you can hear like wind and like very gentle kind of like movement through the trees. But you can't hear any animals, and you can see these little firefly lights, and there's that kind of like clicks in your mind. Yes, they are definitely lights. They are definitely lights in windows. And as your brains manage to make that link, before you see a building. All of you see this. You're probably about... I don't do distances. You're close, but not really, really close.
30 seconds walk?
Probably more than that. Probably about a minute and a half.
Okay.
You can see that there is this building, and it's exceptionally tall. It's almost like someone's put a pine cone down, except it's made of this kind of darkish, kind of brownish metal, maybe bronze, maybe not, and it appears to be melted, as if someone has gotten this pine cone of bronze and just melted the edges of it. It just seems to be like pulling down, and like huge globular entrances like either side. You can see that in this kind of like molten appearance, there is just these faces and gargoyles that can clearly be made out even from this distance. Some of them are huge, with huge open mouths, and you can see lights in those as if they are behind windows. You can see much smaller ones of those at ground level, and one of them is a huge version, and it would appear as if people are passing in and out of this ginormous mouth. You can see that there is, on the very top of this, and this is the thing that kind of was very difficult to see until you clicked that these are human, non-natural, these are human-made lights, that in the very center of this, like reaching up to the sky, is a hand reaching. But it's not metal, it's not stone, it seems to almost be a complete absence of light, like a void. And it's reaching high into the sky. And it almost seems to be drawing light into it. And it seems to be doing that almost increasing speed. You can see the lights around it just being almost pulled into it, and you can see that the darkness is getting deeper and stronger, if that was possible. You can see that around this strange building, you can see that there are these fences, and you can see that there are these like fences, these barricades, that they're being patrolled by these people in robes with hoods. Some of them are carrying rifles, others are carrying these strange small hand devices which you can just see from a distance. You can see a couple of dogs just like patrolling around the edge, and you can see a singular entrance which is manned with sandbags. There is a barrier across it. This is what you guys see.
Okay, I'm going to, at this point, just look at Reuben and nod.
With every detail that becomes clear, Reuben's smile, his shit-eating smug grin, grows, and he just sits there looking at Abigail like, yes, believes in things, eh? Yeah. Mad, I must be. Mad. Some people never believe what's in front of their face.
Do your job, librarian.
What do you two recommend now that we're here?
We need to get in there. I suppose you need to know why we're here. There's an artifact that we need to obtain, shall we say. And it's quite likely to be somewhere near that hand. It would suggest that the way that the light is bending would suggest that potentially that's the middle bit. That's where we need to get to.
Okay, and do you know what this item looks like?
No, but it's going to be quite obvious. They are quite likely to guard it very heavily, and it's powerful. Don't die.
Fine advice, thank you.
Check.
Well,
What did you say, sir?
The person with the skill mystic or mystical can make a check.
You've gone very quiet all of a sudden.
18.
Okay.
I apparently have read the fuck up about this.
Yes, you know possibly what you are looking for.
Oh, we can't actually hear you, buddy.
What about now?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Yeah. There's a chance that you probably know what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to know someone read the mission report.
Link it.
Um,
He didn't know exactly what he was looking for. It's in your Discord chat, dude. And then
Okay.
I'm just gonna find the last little bit that you need.
how much do you know about the Veil of Seeming?
Not really my forte. My job is to get you in and get you out again.
Okay. So the things that you are dealing with, and obviously Ruben may want to interject here. There are certain advances in medical science where, that there's that line between life and death, and there may well be some advances that maybe we don't know about that might allow you to hold on for just a little longer. And we don't really understand how our life force is removed from us. Now, as the world is expanding, things stretch, and we don't want our fabric to get stretched too far. This means that what we end up with is... Have you heard of the idea of dimensions?
No.
All sorts of tiny little decisions that you've made could turn you one way or the other. Alternatively, we might have, bloody awful things coming through and wanting to rip your face off.
That I can understand. So the important thing is, if we go in there and we shoot things, is there going to be any strange, odd effects from that?
Well, your gun is sort of a very basic mechanical device, a bit like your compass. So if we held the compass out, and I'm assuming it's still spinning at this point, you see that the little needle is running around because of the magnetic field and the disturbance, and your little gun that might have worked a few hundred meters away might change. Should we say change?
So you're saying our guns might not work.
Maybe.
That does make things a little bit more challenging.
Yes, the little things might not work, like guns and compasses, our eyes. But, the important thing is we need to get the job done.
Very well. Do you say you thought you knew what this object might be, or can describe it in any kind of vague way?
There are writings on groups like these fellows down here. They are said to... They have certain beliefs. Let's not go too far into it. You don't really need to know. But be assured, if we see anything that looks sort of sharp or large or suitable for reaping, say, it might be useful to remove that from their possession and, say, place it in a large sealed box.
So, looking for a scythe or a sickle?
I wouldn't go as far as to say a definite item, but if the stories are to be believed.
Right, okay.
And if you do see any corpsey type things on the floor, just kind of make sure that they wouldn't maybe reanimate. Just make sure they can't do any walking. How about that?
I'll be sure to deal with that with our guns that don't work.
Well, you take her out in the woods for 2 days and she starts sounding like me.
It's just this...
So our guns may develop a dampening field around the end, and they might...
What? That's a very interesting term. Dampening. You're getting this, Abigail. You should write this down.
Stopping the bullet from exiting. Oh,
Yes.
So, Captain,
Yes.
What-
Yes, Captain. Your boomstick may no boom no more. We don't know. We are trying to work it out.
We are. But do the knuckle dusters? They should still work. So
Yes.
Well, that's a relief.
Yes. Yes. Your preferred method of percussive correction.
looking at this camp, you say it's a circular camp, or
Not really.
is there any area of like we can get to from the woods that isn't like guarded or isn't immediately being watched by soldiers?
I think that's guilty party. I think it's Karun. Well, I think that sort of thing requires some sort of check, like a perception check, perhaps.
12. Sorry, 13.
There are places you think you may be able to get past the wandering patrols. You think?
did you say that there are some of them in robes?
I did indeed, yes.
So, if we sent some of the soldiers off to go and acquire some robes, we might not be quite so conspicuous.
I wouldn't have thought you'd be so keen to get fitted for a Wimple Abbey.
Needs must.
We can certainly go and give that a go. I
I'm
assume
sure
there's
Kirk will enjoy that.
nearby.
Sorry, what was that, Tech?
You cut off there, I miss what you said.
What did you say?
So
So
sure.
we're looking for some robed cultists that we can mug for their robes.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, there's a chance you could do it without getting spotted.
I assume are they entering and leaving this encampment, or are they all just milling around inside?
Well, they're kind of just milling around inside. There are a couple of people you think probably on patrol you might be able to take, but you're not entirely sure when and who they pass, whether they have robes or whether they're just gun-carrying nuts. Your perception wasn't really high enough to determine that.
I don't suppose either of you snagged either of those whistles from those those kindly Hun gentlemen.
No.
Ah.
But if we... Because it's still quite dark. Is it like middle of the night still, or early morning, or...
It's still late night.
Okay. So if we were to cause a distraction and people were to be running around a bit of a panic, how... These robes that these people are wearing, how much would they look like, like a standard kind of army jacket?
The robes do not look anything like a standard military jacket.
Okay, I'm just thinking the things these people would be wearing in trenches would be basically trench coats, which have a certain similarity to robes, especially in the dark.
Uh-huh. But they lack the key component of a hood.
Okay, so if we were to somehow manufacture a hood, then these might be able to pass, at least very loosely, as robes.
You could try.
Okay. Well, what we could do, we've got quite a few of us here, if we were to stage a diversion and draw away some of the guys by the gate, by the gate there, a couple of people dressed up as cultists might be able to sneak in and find what we're looking for.
How many are by the door?
You mean the entrance to the compound?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say 2.
Okay. They're the only 2 people in view.
No, you can see a lot of other people wandering around. You can see a couple of them making wandering patrols, some of them going in and out of the building, albeit much further away. You can still see that. You can see a couple of moving about on this kind of inside the windows and such like.
Are the uniforms that we're wearing very similar to what the Germans are wearing?
I'm gonna say you probably wouldn't have been dropped in without something that looks passably. On close inspection, you'd be screwed.
Yeah, but if, for example, we were to take out these 2 guards standing by the entranceway and take their place, it might pass for a few minutes.
I'm not going to say whether that will or will not succeed.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like that sounds like a thing that might succeed. Especially if we have the captain speaking German, who can kind of answer anyone who asks any questions.
I will
So-
neither confirm nor deny.
That's fine, I'm just like thinking out loud at the moment. So, if we were to get you two, speaking to the scientist and the librarian here, a passable disguise, would you be willing to go and look around and see if you can find this artifact you were talking about?
Would we be going on our own?
Probably yes. We'd be manning the gate. So if you needed help, we could run in there and try and help you. But it'd be the idea is you sneak in there, try and find it, sneak back out again, and let us know if you found it, where it is, or if no one's looking, try and snag it yourself.
Ruben just raises his arms slightly, not in like a come at me, bro, but in a sort of just like appraising way. He takes in his full 5'5". He goes from side to side, taking in his full 15 stone, and says, "I'm not exactly stealthy.
Point is,
Nor
you're
do
not
I speak
stealthy.
German. In what manner do you expect me to look? Like some sort of sneaky, not suspicious German chap strolling into a camp, albeit in disguise. I'm not a tall, athletic, soldiery type, unlike, say, that chap." Says, pointing at companion. It's like,
Ruben, you're
I'm quite happy to execute my mission, but I feel a lot better about it with some.
This is how terrified he
Dirty.
is. He's beginning to like stutter in a robot voice. He's so beside himself with the idea of being forced to go in there, he's a 15-foot stone, 5 foot nothing dude who doesn't speak German. He's just started freaking out in all kinds of manners.
Yeah.
Well, so we could send in all of us with hoods on to see if, 8 or 7 people wandering around aren't noticed at all. Or we could send in some of us, and basically the less people we send in there, less suspicious it will look, and you know what you're looking for. I could go in there and pick up a sharp implement and bring it back and go, "Is this what we're looking for?" And you say no, and I go back in and come out with something else and go, "How about this?" But to be honest,
That sounds far more equitable to me. I mean,
that sounds like a huge waste of
we're
time.
we're theoretical specialists. We're here to help you identify things. We're not here to do the fisticuffs.
I mean, you don't need to hit
Infiltration.
anyone.
That's your job.
You just need to go in there and
That's
look
why
around.
you're here. You are our escorts.
No,
If you escort
signed
us
up
to the
for this.
door and kick us in, you haven't escorted us, you have delivered us.
We'll wait here for when you come back out.
You might as well drive us to Berlin and just kick us on the curb.
Very well. What about you, Doctor? Are you willing to go in there?
Yes.
Abigail.
It might. Look, you signed up. You said you'd come out here. You said you'd find the artifact. You said you'd save humanity. Grow a pair and get in there in a dress. I mean, I'm assuming you don't want us to go and get the robes. So
No.
we go in, we assume that we've taken some sort of vow of silence, perhaps, mutter a few charms at people, and just come back out with it, Nobody will notice. It's bony, taller than you.
Oh.
This is like assuming we could stroll into Parliament and walk out with the Magna Carta. This isn't, this isn't going to be something they're just willing to hand the Sunday boy as he strolls in, without a word, no less.
No, but think of the alternative, which ultimately is going to be
An
bloody
elite
hell.
assault team going in and securing our passage.
Or they all die, we're left out here, and it still happens. And frankly, I think I'd rather be stabbed than to let the thing happen.
I wonder if I can walk
True.
up to the guards and try and intimidate them away from the door.
Okay, so it's a compound. The edge of the compound is essentially a gate. Essentially a high fence, which you can kind of see through, with like the traditional kind of like entrance way barricades, like sandbags and a barrier, and two dudes with like nasty looking guns. The actual weird molten kind of bronze type building with the void hand and a fist reaching to the sky that's fucking huge, by the way, that is set within the compound like the building, and there are lots of people wandering around there. You would like to just wander up to the entrance and try and scare them away.
If I see the captain trying to do something like that, I will absolutely stop him.
With our combined intellect, how likely would it be that we could get the captain to teach us enough German to get by?
Depends what kind of how. Yes. You could learn some, but you couldn't learn. You would have to be lucky to be able to get by with maybe a 5-minute tutorial in a completely different language.
You could learn a few phrases, I guess, if you wanted to try and sound like mad gibbering cultists, like our librarian friend here.
Yeah.
Just in German.
You could learn some things. They wouldn't all be useful.
Conversational.
You couldn't learn conversational German in 5 minutes with a guy who's clearly insane. You can give it a go. You can learn some German in like 5 minutes. Well, for example, if they are going to go off and try and steal these robes for you, he could be spending that time teaching you some German.
Well, we need to get some hoods, don't we? So, is there any material we can see around that we could snatch that we could basically form into a crude hood?
Yeah, if you walk like 3 seconds north, you'll find this like clothing store. No, you're not gonna find clothes randomly in the middle of a forest, in the middle of like somewhere between Germany and France. The cloth you have will be the stuff you're wearing and the stuff on the Axis, guys.
Yeah. What
You
probably
don't find a friendly wandering burlap salesman.
I don't care how many like legendary points you guys put together. You are going to be finding like
In that case, if we
robes are asked nearby.
If we drop back into the trees, then we're going to have to donate various bits of undergarments and shirts and things to basically cut up and make into like a vaguely realistic-looking hood.
Or alternatively, we could just go Cornholio and just pull the shirt up because it's dark, and you only need a silhouette if you're just going to approach someone and knife them.
Well, I mean, if you guys are going to walk through an encampment, you're going to need something that doesn't look too awful.
Oh yeah, I mean to get to the guards at the gate.
Yeah, I mean get to the guards at the gate, but they're not wearing robes. So
I'm gonna say they are because it's just I need this to work.
Okay. In that case, if
For your sake, I want this to work.
in that case, if Captain, me and you go up there, we quietly take these guards out. You seem to be pretty nifty with that old knuckle duster there, and I'll do the best I can. Yeah, go up there, take these guards out, and then if we can have a couple of the other guys like quickly like kind of shuffle off with the bodies somewhere. Do the trees go like near to the edge of this compound? So it's like
Not massively close, no.
it's like a bright, obvious spot. Like let's look what the gate guards are doing, so people can't ambush them in the dark.
No, but
Okay.
you aren't looking at a solid fence.
Yeah, but I mean it's not. But unless someone happened to be kind of looking in that direction exactly the same time we hit them on the head, they wouldn't necessarily notice.
There's always that chance.
Yeah, there's always the chance, but
There's
everything
always
we do
that
is chance.
So.
But it's not like a spotlit area where it's like blatantly obvious what's going on.
No.
Okay, so yeah, in the lack of any kind of obvious other options, we're going to go out there and bop them on the head, nick the uniforms, and try and walk in.
Alright. So who are you going to go on this insane mission to go pop some guys on the head? And come
I think
back again?
it'll be me and the captain going in there to knock them on the head, so we don't look too suspicious. Just two blokes walking up, and then have Render and character ready to run in there and grab the bodies once we've knocked them out and taken their positions. So we'll literally just knock them out and then just assume the positions they were standing in. So if anyone glances back, I'm like, there were two guards there, and they go, oh, there's still two guards there. It's fine.
Okay.
And Captain knows enough German that if anyone comes over and asks a question, like,
Alright.
where are the other guards? He'd be like, oh, shift swap.
Okay. I'm throwing this out there. He will not be able to teach the other two conversational German or some random phrases in German if he is on this.
So we don't need to teach them conversational German. We just need to be able to actually get through there. The idea is these people won't be talking to anyone anyway. They'll just go through, look for something, and then...
Okay, so you're bypassing your conversational German. I need to make that very clear. Okay.
I don't think it's anything useful they're going to be able to learn.
I want you both... Oh my god, he's in the dark. He's already going sneak mode. He's going full sneak mode, guys. I want you both...
Does he get, like...
He gets no bonus. I need you both to make sneak checks to get there.
Hang on.
Was it a sneak check, sorry?
Yep, you're sneaking up to these guys.
5.
8.
You guys make your way over and are immediately spotted by the guys on the door.
Yeah, we were going to be spotted walking up to them. It wasn't a case of like, these guys have a solid metal gate behind them. It's not like we can sneak around behind them.
I know. It's just that you guys made it sound like you were basically trying to get there a little bit, like, not too obviously.
Well, we're trying to approach in a non-threatening, non-violent way.
I'll bear that in mind.
Social stealth.
You guys make your way over, and
Yeah, if there were a bunch of mugs, we'd be like...
Yeah, you guys are making your way towards this gate, and you are spotted. You see one of them raise a gun, and the other one calls over to you. He calls over and asks, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
I raise my arm, and sort of saying, "Yes, we are here."
Turn back. You're not welcome here.
Oh.
Do not take another step, or we will open fire.
Cucumber, we need to take Jason improv sessions.
Oh no!
Come on, man! Just tell him we're the watch here to replace him or something. Just get us close enough to hit them on the head.
This is like watching.
Don't freeze up now.
This is like watching Kitten like trying to walk our way past guards. It's hilarious.
So tired. We're here to swap duties with you.
Make a persuasion roll, manipulate check, charisma for me.
Make charisma. 13.
13. One of the guy with the gun just like lowers it somewhat, and he's clearly no longer completely hostile towards you. And he says, "You're here to sort of us. We weren't expecting anyone till Tuesday."
Oh, where's your papers?
Where's your papers?
The roster.
Oh right, yeah. That's a good point though. Show us your papers, and they just like beckon you over. It's like we just gotta check some names, and you see one of them just like take a step back into that little guard hutty thing they have, just sort of off to one side, and come back with a sheaf of papers, and he's looking through it. It's like, who are you?
I just get right next to him and sort of start fiddling with my pockets.
Yeah, I'll go out next to him as well and be like, getting the papers out from under the jacket. It's like shuffle around to basically getting my knife ready, so that like once I'm next to him, I can just like slip the knife into him quiet.
Introduce. Hello, I am Fisty von Punchington.
I'm sorry.
And I'll do this. I'll do the same. Just
I want you both to roll sneak checks.
I'll be trying to cover his mouth as well at the same time.
I'll get to your attack roll in a minute. It's just that you're trying to. There are people on the other side. This is
12.
okay.
6. Can I just point out our character's really not stealthy?
He is really not. As you like basically fiddle with the knuckle duster and manage to slide it onto your fingers, you hear like the guy behind you in German saying, "Oi, what do you think you're doing with that knife there?"
Ah, you're stabbing me! Why are you stabbing me? Oh, the pain of the
I assume that
stabbing!
both of you are going to attack now that you've been rumbled.
Yeah.
Okay, both make attack rolls.
I can't even remember what film that was. The Will Ferrell thing. I was like, what are you doing? Are you killing me? You're killing me! Oh god!
15.
Okay, that's a good solid hit. Yeah,
11.
that's a solid enough. How do you take these guards out?
The same way as I took the last one out.
Oh, gross. Awesome.
Basically, I'll be stepping up to my guy because I've been basically going for the papers. I'll be slightly side onto him, so I'm going to try and slide this in just under his ribs and up into his, up for his diaphragm.
Oh, the traditional BTP method of into the diaphragm. All right. You two do that. Blood goes flying and spraying everywhere. You see Render and Companion running out from the tree lines, like grabbing these guys, and then just running off with them. And you two are going to take the place of the other guards?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll just slip straight into place and just stand there looking out. I won't turn around to see if anyone saw me because that would be suspicious. So I'll just kind of assume a position looking up the road.
Okay. All right. These two bodies are dragged back towards our mission specialists. They are some dead Germans. One of them is completely sprayed top to bottom in blood. The other one's a little bit less stained, but not too bad. These are your options.
Well, these are fucking useless. Congratulations, dickheads. What the hell did you do?
So you mentioned knuckle duster managed to spray something sort of blood. It's like a blunt weapon. It did more damage than stabbing someone.
Well, apparently he uses it to tear their goddamn heads off.
That's why.
What colour were they originally?
Let's go with
Grey.
They're all white assassin robes. Oh, shit.
We're not having
No,
white.
they're red.
Immediately.
No, they're red
destroy.
assassin robes.
These are. Now you have the robes in a way that you can look over them more intently. The hoods are huge, very voluminous, so if you put them on, it'll be difficult to see anything directly ahead of you. Then they just would almost completely either cover your face or put it in complete darkness. The material is quite heavy. It's very, very dark in colour. You can more feel the sticky wetness of the blood than actually and see it particularly on this. You're aware that there appears to be small, maybe glittering, but you can't exactly tell whether it's material, whether it's a reflection of something on the material. It just looks a little odd. You can also see, as you pull them off, that on the inside they have they either have the letter N or the letter R embroidered in it.
I'm gonna take the one with an N.
As so you should.
Okay.
Does it fit? Is the question. Can it be made to at least have a convincing fit?
It fits. Both of them would fit. One size fits all, let's go with that. For the slightly shorter amongst you, it kind of does drag on the ground a little, but it fits.
That's for a proper Palpatine fit. Palpatine cut robes.
Palpatine cut robes.
Excellent.
You two
Okay.
are outfitted in these dark, occasionally slight glittering robes. One of them completely drenched in blood. Let's say the one with the N is drenched in blood.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
In the note.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. And the other one's like, right. Or run!
Okay. So we have the robes. We have the robes on. I'm going to pull the hood up. And sort of keep it sort of here so I can kind of see out.
No, you can't see a whole lot above a certain level. For sure. Are you two gonna make your way inside?
I think we're
Yeah.
in for a penny.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm going to prevail upon companion who I have been having many wonderful chats with on this trek. I'm going to prevail upon him for a second pistol, assuming that he has his own sidearm.
Take a manipulate charisma for me.
Okay. No. All of the no.
Pistol.
No.
Doesn't trust your civilian nature.
5. Yeah.
His pistol.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I was like, well then, Private. I'll be counting on you to rush on in when you hear everything going wrong. Then I'll only have 15 warning shots.
Yeah, sure will. If the Colonel says it's so, then it's so. And that's basically all you get out of Companion.
Professor.
Still rending.
Professor.
Yes.
I'm gonna throw in Betsy.
Ooh.
Which is
An everyday small gun.
there you go.
Okay.
You have an everyday small gun. Clip size.
Excellent.
12.
There you go.
Okay. Cool.
Cool. You
So I
soft
don't
touch
actually
you.
use the bloody thing that much.
You soft touch you. Don't give him weapons. Don't let him go akimbo assassin.
Hey,
Yeah, I mean, he's
my
not
knuckle
a hero.
duster's a lot better.
He's a worse. Walking into the heart of walking into this unknown encampment. Okay.
Excellent.
In we go then.
Yes.
All right.
I'm just going to do the typical monk thing of you have the hands tucked into the sleeves. I'm going to have a pistol in each hand.
Oh man, I need you both to make sneak checks. Again, this is a more blending in kind of check. As you guys basically walk past the two guards, your two companions, into this compound proper. If you have legendary points, I would recommend adding them, using them, or saving them from the reroll and using it here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
I'll be using a legendary point to re-roll that one because that was a botch.
Mm-hmm. Probably a good idea.
Nice. That was an unnatural 11.
Okay, much better.
Mine was a 10. So
It's passing.
it's about as good as sneaking gets for a pair of
It
librarians.
was made slightly easier by the fact you had legitimate robes, not just a random pair of pants on your head. As I heard it option earlier, I'm like, what? No, these aren't boxer shorts. We're talking long johns with the yeah, that would be a no. Okay. That
You
was...
can cut the little bum flaps out and use those.
How many do you have?
Well, there's 6 soldiers.
God. No. That's just terrible. And you don't have any like oh, I'm not even getting into it. Okay, you guys managed to walk past the two guards, your own companions. Clearly you don't need to sneak past them, but you did manage to get to that point. You walk in there and you see more of these robed, let's call them what they are, cultists wandering around. You see a couple of like more kind of soldiery types walking around with just the long trench coats and the guns. And they just like glance over you and keep walking. The two guys out front on guard, you can sometimes look back and just see at the corner of eye just a few of the soldiers just like stopping, but they just seem to be completely ignoring your companions. They look like another set of random cultists because of the robes they're wearing. And you two are in here. Are you heading towards anywhere in particular?
I think we need to head towards the hand, really.
The Fist of Fury.
Looking around, the only entrance entrance you see is in that kind of huge face that I described earlier. Essentially, walking into it now, you're close. It looks more like a lamprey mouth. So it's kind of round in shape. You can see the eyes over the top with the kind of lights glittering inside, and you can see that looking at this entrance, there indeed just appear to be sharp protrudings of bronze on the inside of this entranceway, and it's just dark in there. You can see a few flickerings of light, but overall you just get this overwhelming sense of darkness. And as you two walk closer, can you both roll perception checks for me?
9.
7.
Okay, you can't pinpoint where this is coming from, but the closer you walk to this structure, you begin to hear this voice. As I said, you can't pinpoint it, you don't know where it's coming from, but you hear this voice, and in places it's almost like it's a chorus of voices, and it's you hear the following. With your long forgotten name, hear us, we call upon you. With the name you gained when you fell from grace, hear us, we call upon you. In the name of those who did not abandon you, hear us, we call upon you. We will return you to your glory. We will see you walk our world. We will bask in your grace. We shall rip apart the veil of seeming with the blood of the wicked and the ignorant, who walk upon this world sprouting the words of false idols. We will reap them from this earth. They shall be punished. They shall bleed and be sacrificed to bring you into the world. Yimel, this I swear. And when we break your sickle, you will be freed. And we will use the shards to bring the slain into your service. Yimel, this I swear. And that's where we're going to close up this evening.
Nice.
Cool. So, we are going, new style of wrapping up and intros, we are going for speed outros because, yeah. So, we're going to go with Karun. Who are you, where can we find you, and how was that for you?
I am Karun. You can find me on Twitter at Karun_BTP. You will normally be able to find stuff about the Betrayed short film at jqs.org.uk, but at the moment it's a white page because I'm updating it, so check that later, please. So yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's a bit of fun. Got to use the knuckle dusters again, which is quite nice because I like it when it's easy to do things. So especially with these dice, need a bit of help.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I won't be here next week. Or
I could have killed you, damn it.
Oh, thanks.
Shit.
But I will be back on this channel at this time very, very soon.
Cool. Next one round then.
I am Spanners, and you can find me on Twitter. You can find me a lot on Twitter at Spanners_BTP. You can see me right here on Monday at 7:30, and again next Friday. I'm always here.
We're here. We're always here. Favourite thing also?
I'm a little nervous about where we are right now. Got to say, regretting putting a robe on. I'm still slightly concerned about the knuckle dusters. I'm just ooh.
It's
Yeah.
right of concerned.
Cool.
Tech.
Tech Puppet, Tech_BTP on Twitters, bloodthirstpuppets.co.uk, tvstudios.co.uk, and yeah, today was cool. I like sending civilians in to do dangerous stuff while I guard outside.
That I thought was a genius move. Cool. Last but not least.
Thirsty _BTP on Twitter, bloodthirstpuppets.co.uk, when I do something there, which I haven't for quite a while. I'm here now and at other times. That was great. My laundry list of things to complain to the General about has grown very large. And now includes such things as Captain, conduct unbecoming of an officer.
Yep, that's fair.
And many entrances of general cowardice towards the Colonel. refusal to share vital operational information, things like that. I am very much enjoying the fact that now we have come to the point where my specialist doesn't necessarily have to keep lying about things he actually knows, but at the same time, there's no one to tell, and if he does, he'll be killed. So, hey.
Maybe.
Well, if I speak English here, I will probably be killed.
Everything you heard was in, to your ears, English.
Yeah. But speaking aloud in English in, like, occultist camp behind the German lines, it's probably not the best way of extending your life.
It's not a smart idea, no.
No.
It's not a smart idea.
No.
Cool.
But yes.
I'm looking forward to next week. This is gonna be fun.
Yes.
I'm
I'm looking forward to Ruben finding a reason to pull out his 2 pistols and then instantly die because he only has 3 HP.
Oh,
Good
God.
point.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to the fact you've only sent 2 people into this. I'm not changing how I've designed this area, however. So good luck with that. Cool. I'm Blood. You can find me on Twitter at blood_BTP. You can find me on this channel every time we stream, pretty much. Next time we're streaming is on Saturday/Sunday morning, where we are doing Reckon Beyond with Arch and Casey and Neil and Onyx, which will be fun, cool. And next time I'm online is probably either tomorrow morning doing some sort of creative stuff, or I will be on Skagga's channel playing Wintercrest with him and a bunch of other friends. I had so much fun this evening. I wasn't entirely sure what you guys were gonna do. I was gonna say I was surprised, but I'm not getting surprised by your surprises anymore. It was very freaking funny. It was just, what the fuck, man? What the hell? Really good fun though. I really enjoyed it. It was cool, and I'm definitely looking forward to next week, especially with some of the kind of lore drop that we've got going there with the Yimel and all that good stuff, and the Veil of Seeming. It's so excited we finally get to talk about these things.
Who have you got playing next week?
It shall be Killer Kitten, and it should be Dev back next week. And obviously our wonderful Spanners is staying.
Yeah.
But that will be my last one for 2 weeks, I think, because I'm going to be out in America, and I'm not sure if I'm around. May or may not be. I don't really know. Better find out. So yeah, other than that, check out our podcasts, which drop Monday. Should be a new podgate either this weekend, or next week. New episode TOD comes out as usual every Monday, and I think it might be the end of the White Vault. I think we had the finale. I don't really remember. There are so many things. Just check out the Twitter.
I think it already has.
Yeah, it probably already has, actually. I don't really know anymore. There's so much going on. I have no fucking clue. Alright, is there anything... I've got left to do is thank Kevin McLeod for all the free ass music that you've heard today, which has been freaking me out on and on and on. There is actually something I want to try doing. I'm not sure if it works, but I'm going to give it a go. That may help if I actually put in a true command. Yes, it freaking worked. Hells yes. We are going to go raid Skaggath because he's currently streaming a new game that he's playing. He's not played this game before, I don't think. So we're gonna go raid him. So just jump over there and say that, yeah, you know, we came from the puppets. Blood sent us all. Or, you know, I'm still thirsty. One of the two. Blood sent us, or I'm still thirsty. Either one I do. So we shall catch you guys on another time, I guess. So good night, all.